Shalom family, it's your girl, Empress Jetty the Rabble Rouser, coming at you from the Shitashi Aluma Nation in Southern Belize, representing Word Revolution. Y'all be glorified, magnified. Before we get started, I want to remind you all to check out this channel and listen to the few songs I have on there. They are samples of what songs will be. They are recorded kind of hood and ghetto like, so don't judge me on that, okay? Don't judge me on that. When my producer, Brother Aviyah, over at Yah's One Entertainment, gets his hands on the songs, he will turn them into real songs, and they will have that sound quality, I guess you call it radio quality, that you all are used to. So don't hold that against the songs, but check out the songs, see how you like them. They represent 3 albums that I'm currently working on. Questions and comments will come out first, and then Sabbath songs and War Cry will follow sometime after. So just wet your whistle and share if you like, and maybe they'll be encouraged. People have, some people have really liked the songs, so I just figure I'll keep telling y'all to listen because you might really like the songs. Anyway, right now we're in our series on casting down idols. This is video number 4 in the series. We kind of did it weird because we did the first video on Mammon, then we did the second video on education, and then we did your knowledge, what you know, your education, and then we did the third video, the second part of Mammon. So that was a little hinky, but hopefully you guys are figuring that out and it's not too weird. But right now we are gonna talk about another one that's got to come down, family. Okay? Y'all, let me speak truth. Okay, dig this. Your plans are an idol to you that you are going to have to cast down in order to please Yah. And listen, some of you think that Yah just loves you so much that you don't ever have to worry about pleasing him because he's just going to have his divine favor on your life and all this stuff. Not so. Right now is the time for them get up under his feathers, get up under his wings type of time. And Yah is not going to gather you up under him if it doesn't fit your plans. It's not going to do it. You have to make Yah's plans your plans. Not like, Yah, please make my plans your plans, but instead, Yah, please make my plans your plans. If you can dig it. Right? So that aligning yourself with Yah often will make you, not often, always, okay, those of us who really follow Yah laugh at plans because, and we make good plans and we plan and we move according to plans, but we hold them very loosely. I'm not trying to tell you guys that plans are useless. A plan is very useful. It's very helpful to set goals for yourself and have milestones and steps to take toward that plan. I'm not saying not to do that. Again, the things that Yah tells us not to have as idols, he tells us not to have as idols. It's not like he's saying don't ever do it, don't ever touch it. He's saying it can't become more important to you than what the Spirit is saying in the moment to do. Nothing can be more important than the Spirit in the moment that's telling you what is called for in that moment. And so we know the times and the seasons. We know this is the end time. The word tells us that all creatures on the planet know that this is the end time. This is the age of retribution. And so with all of us knowing that, right, we must come into agreement and alignment with what Yah, what are Yah's plans in this time. We cannot now be still trying to finish plans that we have when you know good and hoo-ha sight well that is a distraction to you from Yah's plan. And I don't care how much people celebrate your quote-unquote wins along the path that Yah did not design for you. Yah is not going to ask them how they feel about right and exact judgment and retribution when it comes down on you, when you have spent all of your life being a nurse, which is a beautiful, wonderful thing to do, and you were supposed to be a nurse. I mean, you were supposed to be a singer, right? Let's say you were supposed to be a singer. Y'all been put a song in your heart, and you're supposed to be a singer, but you're so responsible, and you're this wonderful nurse. And maybe you sing to your patients, and that helps them to get better, and you're telling yourself that that's really where God wanted your ministry and all of this. But you only went to nurse school because you were scared to not go to nurse school because you didn't think that you would make it as a singer. That is when your plans are an idol over God's plans. Or maybe you're supposed to be the nurse. And so Yah put a song in your heart. And so maybe Yah put a song in your heart as a nurse so that you would be able to sing to your patients and they would get better. But you don't sing to your patients to get better, right? Instead, you are trying to get into Hollywood, and so you're out there trying to forward your singing career because you know that you have this anointed voice. You're out there pushing some singing career, right? Instead of staying in your gifting, which is a nurse, and singing your patients well. And I'm not saying one or the other is the idol. Nursing or singing in and of itself isn't an idol. What I'm saying is you have to be aware enough of the move of Yah to be able to know. We cannot make our cowardice, we cannot make our desires, we cannot make our what people told us we were supposed to be. Listen, those of you that are doing and being who you think people approve of and calling that holiness and righteousness because those people have given themselves or others have given them the tag of being people of God, right? And you're doing all of this stuff that people told you to do, and something in the back of your head is telling you this ain't right, this is not right. I'm supposed to be over there doing something. Excuse me. 1 second. Really? I'm live. What are you doing? No, shut my door and stop that, please. Shut my door. So you have to, you can't substitute people or politically correct agendas or accolades or public opinion or vows you made to yourself. I know this one lady, right? I know this one lady that made a vow because when she was a child, she despised her grandmother's relationship with her grandfather. And so she vowed that she would never get married until she was 50. And this woman is literally in her 40s and she's still holding to that vow. Now listen to me. If you... It's the stupidest stuff I ever heard in my life. Right? Now, that vow didn't stop her from opening up her legs and having babies to some men, right? She's got kids. So what did that vow mean, girl? That you were just going to be a hoe for 50 years? You done committed yourself to whoredom for 50 years because you didn't like somebody else's marriage? You can't do that. We can't do that, y'all. Like, that's an idol. She has placed her vow as an idol, which has caused her to sin because... maybe if she didn't have that vow, she might have married her kid's dad. Right? I don't know, you guys. You guys just don't be... You guys... So now you've got all these plans that you want to bring about, and you want to complete, and you want to accomplish, and you want to do all this stuff, this fancy stuff. And you know that you've been getting a word from Yah to change your direction. And that, y'all, listen, this comes in so many forms. This comes in stuff like you was thinking about getting married and something telling you, don't you do it, girl. Now you done bought flowers and dresses and sent out invitations and that. And something keep telling you, don't you do it, don't you do it, don't you do it. And the more you plan and the further time goes along, the less you feel like you can get out of it. And so you go ahead and you go through that. And now you have this horrible marriage. It's horrible, it's abusive, it's terrible, it brings you down. You're in a worse state financially, emotionally, and physically when you get out of the marriage in 4 years. Because you didn't have the humility to listen to the Holy Spirit when you were 2 months before your wedding, and the Holy Spirit was like, girl, don't you do this. But you wanted to bring your plans about for whatever reasons, because people got different reasons for sticking to their plans. Some people will have a genuine change of heart but won't change the plan because they don't want to eat the crow of people saying, I knew you wasn't going to stick with that, or I knew that wasn't right for you, or didn't I told you that wasn't, that kind of stuff. Y'all will stick to plans that you will stick to a bad plan to spite somebody that told you it was a bad plan. That's how y'all doing out here now. If I'm lying, I'm flying. I see these things. I'm talking about real life. I don't come to do that weird church, weird thing where nothing is what it says and nothing means what it means. And like spirituality is separate from life. Okay? I'm talking about real life, am I not? Some of y'all are sticking to bad plans because you're cowards and you don't want to take a chance on what you know in your heart you really should be doing, or even in exploring other options. Some of you have stuck to bad plans just because you don't want to do the work to come up with a good plan, or just because you haven't seen any other options and you took the first thing that came along. These are idols. Y'all needs to be able to stop you in your tracks no matter where you are and what you think you're doing and reroute you. Completely reroute you. Y'all should be able to turn you 1 degree south or north at a drop of a hat, or completely send you 180 degrees. Y'all should be able to spin you in a whole entire circle. Spin you in 360 degree circles at the drop of a hat. But y'all don't pay attention. And so now y'all are Abraham about to slay your baby because you came up there with a plan and ain't nobody changing your plans because you worried about more. Whatever. Listen. Your plans can be an idol. Many of your plans are an idol. You know good and darn well y'all done told you do something else. Be somewhere else. Be with other people. Right? Y'all told you leave your raggedy friends alone, you won't. Y'all told you leave them defiling family members alone, you won't. Right? Y'all told you get out them jobs, them defiling jobs, and you won't. Why? Because I still got 7 years on my mortgage to pay. I ain't leaving this good job, this good government job, or this good job. And you know how hard it is to find a job with your degree nowadays? Blah, blah, blah. Right? I have seniority here. I'm not leaving my seniority and starting over somewhere else. I don't know nothing about whatever that XYZ thing is that y'all keeps calling you out to. I don't know nothing about that. I know what I'm doing over here. Y'all don't. The reason this is a problem is because it shows that you don't trust Yahweh. You trust you more than you trust him. And you think you know the future better than he does. You have to understand that sometimes Yah will give you a plan, or you'll start heading in a direction and Yah will give you a plan and say, go this direction, so he can get you to a certain point and then reroute you. Or he'll just send you so far into his thing so you can see what it's hitting for. And then be like, all right, come on up out of there. And you got to come on up out of there. I remember there was a situation in my life like that, where I was working this cool job, right? I ain't going to mention it. I was working this really cool job, and I had great freaking potential. I had great potential. I was making $30 an hour, right? I had this really cool job, and I had really great potential, and like people could see that, oh shoot, this girl could go somewhere if she sticks with this here thing, right? And I was all excited. I'm like, oh, and people are telling me how far I'm going to go, right? And like, the community feels different about me because apparently I'm not crazy that week because I had that particular job, okay? And of course, when I walked away from it, they knew I was crazy. But I'm going to tell you, y'all put me in it, deep enough in it for me to see how corrupt it was. And then he pulled me out. He said, all right, get up out of there. Tell them of their wickedness and roll. So all those plans and all of what I could see myself doing and what everybody could see me doing and what there was all this support to, it died the day Yah said, tell them how wicked they are and roll. Now y'all want to tell them how wicked they are and stick around, and because they didn't listen. Now you think it's your job to stick around and beg them, but really that's not why you're there. You're there because you want to do all that fly stuff that they said. You want to be elevated in the way that this thing is kind of lifting you up. So you want to stick to the lift up, and you want to pretend that you're sacrificing. And when people say to you, how can you be in there with all them snakes? And you say, because I am teaching them. I'm an example. And all this nonsense. Y'all are out here playing with y'all. This is not playtime, guys. It's not. Y'all see my blunt keeps going out. It's really frustrating me. It's because it has a hole in it. And I already smoke slow, but it has like a hole in it. It's not really even. I got to hold it, like hold the whole area. And hold it together a little bit. So, whatever. And do spare me your lectures on the herb, okay? Me and Yahweh and the ancestors and the angels and all my witnesses been done talked about this right here. Yah said, them people down there, they hate my blessing. He said, let them hate my blessings. They hate all my blessings. They call evil good and good evil. What you gonna do? So listen, don't get grind up and comfort us. Don't get grind up and comfort us, because we can go straight to Genesis about the plants. And y'all don't know, Moses smoked a pipe. My mom told me that when I was a child. My mom told me Moses smoked a pipe. And my mother is one of the most brilliant people I've ever met. Yeah. And she was very well studied. And is very well studied. But as a child, I'm talking about when I was a child, I knew that I had a phenomenal mother, right? And she was well studied. This woman was well studied and brilliant. And I remember her telling us that the children of Israel were black and all of this, extra stuff that they don't teach you about in the Bible and from books that aren't the Bible. And like, she was like kicking it, right? So just a shout out to Mim. I do want my mom to come here and live with me, y'all, but I don't know if it's in y'all's plans. Let me tell y'all, that's a good one. This is a good one. There's a good one here. So me and my mother, mental health or mental state, my mother moves in and out of different realities. Okay? Let's just put it that way. And so there's often hospitalization involved because, the world doesn't interface well when you're in a different reality than they are, or when you can see what they can see, you can hear what they can't, you can see what they can't see, you can hear what they can't hear, all of that. You can hear what they didn't say, you know what I'm saying, all that kind of stuff. And so she's often institutionalized, right? And then she gets stabilized, and then she, is in society fine for a while. But then, sometimes she goes so far out into these other realms that she operates in that she has a problem differentiating, understanding which reality she's in here and operating effectively here. And so it causes the kind of chaos that will eventually have you eventually come to a place where someone must take care of you because you're spiritually interfacing for 3 days, but you left the water running in you started a bath before that session. And so 3 days the water's running, and so nobody knows that you're in this spiritual interface for 3 days until water leaks. And the neighbors are like, oh shoot, why is it raining in our house? And so they go, will somebody go check upstairs? And then you're institutionalized. Now that wasn't a real story, but now that I tell it, I think something similar to that did happen, but except like with my mom, but except I think it was her neighbor that was dripping down on her. So that's why I was just looking up, because I was just trying to remember, why do I have a memory of a situation, something like that. But anyway, so that gives you a context for my mother. So she had been institutionalized a few years ago, and a few of my siblings, me and two of my siblings, my brother and my sister, came up with this fabulous plan to move my mom here to Belize, where I could plop her down on one of our plots of land. Whichever, if she wanted to be on a plot all by her lonesome, or if she wanted to be on a plot like up under us with our little cabins, or if she wanted to be on one of our plots where we are, but like close enough that she can get to us if she feels like it, but far enough where she doesn't even have to hear our voices if she doesn't feel like it. Like that, right? Like, we got you, Mom, right? So my siblings were like, yes, go, go, go. We got to figure out how to get her out of the institution. So we go through all this stuff, my siblings have some letters behind their names in medical world and stuff, and so they're able to kick it with these people like Department of Aging and people from the hospital and all this stuff, and like talk their language, and like they talk the language, and we get my mom released. But none of us, the three of us who came up with this great plan, and it took probably like a year to get to the point I'm getting ready to tell you about now. So none of us lived close to where this was happening. We all lived very far away. The three of us who had come up with and had been executing this plan. And so we had to call in a sibling who was not a part of the plan, right? To pinch hit for us, and because they finally gave us the yes, and then, oh shoot, somebody's got to go get her, right? Like right now. And so it was originally my plan that I would go get her, but y'all was like, you cannot go to Babylon no time soon. And so I'm like, listen, I can't come to Babylon. We got to get somebody to bring Mom. So we bring in another family member, another sibling. There are 6 of us, so we got lots of siblings to choose from. There are 6 of my mothers, and then my father has 16 children and 5 wives. So there's a bunch of us, right? And so we're like, somebody's got to bring her to me in Belize, right? And the other 2 live in other parts they live in the States. They live in different parts of states. And so we're like, okay, so we find a local sibling, local to her situation, and we have that local sibling get her, and we pay for the sibling to bring her, and they come, and we have it's an awkward visit, because I'm not going to get into all of that, but it was just a really awkward visit. And my brother left with he and I on really bad terms, and he took my mom with him when he left. He took her back with him when he left. And so now, since then, it's just been a mess, but we were trying to find a way to get her back from him as his situation changed, right? Because like he got a new woman, and the new woman is pregnant, and so now my mom is beyond an inconvenience, right? And so then we started to try to develop this plan to still get her back here where he kidnapped her from, okay? Get her back here to me so I can plop her down wherever she wants to plop down and like chill. Me and my mom don't really, we do okay even when she's in her other realities, because it doesn't scare me, because I know what that's like. I know how to move from one reality to the next, and I know I know how she's getting stuck and all this kind of stuff. So it doesn't throw me off as much as it throws other people off. So I'm like, give me my mother, right? And so we try to get him down here, and every time we try to erect a plan that goes along with our plan to get my mother here, something happens where it just is not happening. It is not happening. And so now the brother that kidnapped her is pretty, like he's in a place of he's going to take her back to the institution because he doesn't, it's too much for him to even facilitate getting her here to me, for whatever that means, okay? And so I had to come to a place of really understanding, Jetty, your plans for your mom are not, necessarily y'all's plans. Y'all, I was going to go kidnap my mom. I was going to literally send kidnappers, okay? I was going to send family members, people she loved and trusts, to go and tell her they were going to take her to dinner and take her to the airport and bring her to me, okay? That's the type of time I was on, okay? Even if we had to drug her and put her to sleep and put her in a wheelchair. Listen, don't play with your girl. Listen, I'm here for it, okay? I was thinking along those lines, and y'all arrested me and was like, excuse me, I didn't tell you to do any of that, okay? None of that did I tell you to do. Now, he did tell us y'all was very involved in the conceiving of bringing her here in the first place. But then it started to get to where I was so attached to that and what I thought it was going to look like and when I thought it was going to happen and how I thought it should happen, that I completely left y'all out of the equation and was just like in this place of, I'm going to make it happen. Now, I didn't completely leave that out of the equation because I never do that. I was praying, y'all, help me to figure this out and all this kind of stuff. Right? And at a point, he's just like, hello, relax yourself. Relax yourself, lady. My plans, not yours. Right? Our plans cannot be an idol. Like, my mother is not a child. She does have free will. She's cognizant enough to say, hey, I want to, like, that's why she left. When I say my brother kidnapped her, he did not kidnap her. She had the choice and she went back with him. Whatever. Like, it was right? And so y'all had to be like, excuse me, first of all, your mother's grown. Okay? She is still grown like she was when you was born. Okay? And I've got her. You just keep doing what I told you to do, which is prepare in case her or any elder should show up needing what you guys can offer. You get your nose to the grind. You keep telling my children what I keep telling you to tell my children. And I will tell you when it is time for you to do something on behalf of your mother. And guess what, guys? I have finally come to a place of peace if that never happens. If it is my mom's destiny to live out her last days and die in an institution, okay, which was, of course, like my greatest fear, my poor mother. But I don't know what y'all's doing. I don't know who my mother might have to minister to in them daggone things, because y'all playing games. Y'all be playing games with crazy people. Y'all better learn to listen to crazy people, okay? Y'all better learn to listen. I don't know who might be in that institution, who my mom might need to give a word to, who my mom might need to see and speak directly to their situation, like how she can do. I don't know whose deliverance I might be holding up, trying to drag and capture my mom, because I want to be gardening with her and planting with her and bird watching, and somebody's soul might be on the line. There might be somebody who in 3 years is going to end up in the same institution as my mom. Maybe it's a young person. And they get in there and my mom sees them like how she sees people and speaks to them and changes their life. So what I think about institutions and what I think about mental health and what I think about, or mental illness and things, and what I think about whatever is far less significant than that potential soul that is literally on a course, them and my mother have an appointment. My mother has her own appointments. She has her own appointments. I don't get to determine that for her. I don't even get to determine that for me. I love Belize. Y'all sent me right here, plot me down, told me what to do, told me I got to do it here in Belize, I got to do it in the Caribbean. Pay attention and do what you got to do, girl. Make your connections because you got to do it in the Caribbean. And then you you can go to the motherland later. Okay, I didn't know nothing about Belize. I was on my way to freaking Ghana. Right? Now, I'm thinking, based on what I know so far, I'm thinking I've got so many years and so much to do, and this is my timeline, and this is my to-do list, and this is my schedule for when I would like to finally go to the motherland. Once the Caribbean is straight, I know at least good people is somewhere solid, can feed themselves and can feed other good people. We got a good network in place. Good, great, go. Boom. Now, I don't know if that's the story y'all spun me to get me to do what I've done, to learn what I've learned doing that, so he can completely flip the script. What if like someone's like, oh my gosh, Jetty, rabble rouser, come rabble rouse with us, right? Come, let's do a rap tour and go to all the smallest venues we can in a year time. Something, right? And then what do I say? Oh, I can't do that because my plan's here and I have a timeline. And I better learn, y'all better learn, we all better learn how to just listen. Let me tell you about a little trick. I used to tell people about this, and then, I stopped telling people about it because I got tired of saying it. Okay, but I reckon I can't get tired of saying what y'all still need to hear. Do you know years ago, Yah blessed me so beautiful with showing me 2 scriptures and telling me that these were for me, right? Y'all know how sometimes y'all give you a scripture and he'd be like, this here's for you. This one here is yours. Okay? So chew on this and figure out why. Right? And so the 2 scriptures were that man can cast the lot in his lap, but it's the Most High that determines the outcome. And the other one is the story of Gideon, where Yah calls him a mighty man of valor, and he's like, I'm a worm. I don't know what you dumb out. I'm finna hide in this well, right? And so when Yah tells him to make this move, he's like, I need you to prove it's you, right? So he lays out a fleece. A fleece is a wool, like a cloth, right? He lays out this cloth and he says, like on his doorstep, and he says, okay, here's the test. If you want me to go do this thing, when I get up in the morning, the cloth will be wet, but all the ground around it will be dry, if it's yes. So he gets up in the morning, and the thing is wet, and the ground around it is dry. He's like, oh, that seems like a yes. But listen, I ain't trying to be crazy or nothing, but just for sake of my own sense of sanity and surety here, how about we do it one more time? If the answer is yes, if you want me to go on up here and deal with these people, then tomorrow make the fleece dry and the ground around it wet. And so the next morning he woke up and the fleece was dry and the ground around it was wet. Then he knew he needed to go do what the Most High has said to do. So those 2 things. Now, prior to those 2, to the revelation that y'all gave me about those 2 scriptures, I was under the impression that either of those kinds of things was this sorcery and divining that they warn us not to participate in, right? So when you come up on scripture that seems to contradict what you thought you knew about scripture, re-examine what you think you know about scripture. Okay? Just do that. Allow yourself to grow, because first of all, there's levels. Second of all, every time you read the scripture, it could be trying to tell you something different. Third of all, we've been lied to about what the scriptures mean. Right? So what I started doing, guys, and this has been a long time now. We're probably 15 years into, 15? maybe 13 years into this practice, I get a coin and I say a little prayer. And if I have a decision to make and I don't know which way to go, or if it's a big decision, even though I may have an idea of where I want to go, it's a big decision, right? Not every decision do I do this, okay? I do not wake up in the morning and say, should I wear the blue or the red pants? But sometimes I do if I don't know which, if I, skirt, pants, I might even do it then, right? But I just don't want you to think that every time, I don't want anybody to imagine that every single time I have to make a decision in the day that I go through this process. That is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is when a decision when a decision is really gonna, like I said, either I'm not sure what to do or it's largely impactful, right? I will typically toss a coin, right? And so I'll say a little prayer. I'll just recite the scripture. Yah, your word says we could toss the lot into the lap, but you determine the outcome, okay? So I'm going to do it. I need you to tell me what's what. Heads is yes, tails is no. Sometimes I'll toss more than one, because if you toss one and you get an absolute yes or no, okay, the thing about that is things aren't absolute. So if you get a no, you might think it's a no, but it might not be a no. It might be a later. It might be a not now. So if it's like kind of a situation that has a lot of variables, I would toss more than one. Like I would toss an odd number of coins, and like sometimes, some things I've tossed like lots and lots of coins because I kept getting the answer that I didn't want. So I'm like, okay, you say like, okay, best out of 3, and then it's like 2 out of the 3, and you're like, okay, best out of 5 now. Okay, best out of, I think I've probably rode that wave, like, I don't know, maybe I think there was one decision that I had like a bunch of change, and I did all of the change. Like, anyway. So here's how I use this tool, okay, of determining Yah will over mine. How I use it is I'll do something like, let's say I toss 7, and then there are, let's say there's 6 yeses and 1 no. If I toss 7, then I know that it's a yes, but there's something about it that I haven't figured out, something about it that I'm doing wrong, right? If it's like 3 no's and 4 yeses, then I know that there's either like some wiggle room, right, where I can kind of have some leeway in there, right? Like maybe it's a yes, but a lot of the no energy, if you will. So like, oh God, I don't even know how to explain this. Okay, like in real life, right? If I say like, should I go to the park with Jenny and James, or should I go to tea with Ron and Sarah? Like, I would use this coin method to figure out all the components of it, because maybe I get like a yes and a yes for both, but you can't really do both. And so then it's like, okay, so what is it? Is it that I'm supposed to go to tea with Sarah and Ronnie, or is it that I'm supposed to go to and like use the different parts of the thing, the different variables, toss on the different variables even, and to build out the plan, right? To build out the answer. And so what that did for me, I cannot even tell you. Oh, or I would say, I'm putting out a fleece, right? And that's another one. Another one is putting out a fleece, which is just test. If you want me to go, Father, I need to see 3 people wearing blue hats and red shoes in this, whatever. Within the next 20 minutes, I need to see 3 men with red hats and blue shoes, or blue hats and red shoes, whatever I said, right? You say, Father, if you want me to do it, you can do these things. Like, Yah will answer you. He will show you. You say, Yah, give me a sign, should I trust this person? And you see an advertisement where a snake comes on TV, right? Show me, Father, Show me about this person. Is this person to be trusted? Right? And then somebody calls you up. They don't have nothing to do with the situation, and they're like, hey man, I just wanted to kick it with you, boom boom. And somehow the conversation ends up turning into how important trust is and how dangerous mistrust can be. And they don't know that they're telling you about this whole other situation, right? Like, Yah speaks to us. When you read the Sing Gospels of Peace, there's like chapters of Yah speaks through this. Yah speaks through the birds. Yah speaks through the sand. Yah speaks through old women. Yah speaks through babies. Yah speaks through alligators. Yah speaks through traffic. Yah speaks through this. I speak to you. I speak to you. I speak to you. I speak to you. So, test your Yah. Say, talk to me, Yah. So what that did for me is it revolutionized my life. Because, first of all right, I don't know. I've been discovering lately that I probably carry a lot more stress. Maybe it's just I'm getting old and worrisome or something. I don't know. But I carry a lot more stress than I typically have. I've not been a person that stresses out easily or carries a lot of stress, right? Historically. But I gotta tell you, once I started making decisions like that, and then once I felt I had got an accurate answer on the decision, I just will go with it and not even look back and not even go back. And it didn't matter what reasoning people came with. It didn't matter how crazy I looked or any of that. I wouldn't let anybody or me talk me out of the thing that I had already discerned to be true, right? And I just wouldn't look back. Guys, I've been doing that for like 13 years. Now, people say it's irresponsible because I'm making all these major decisions without this and that. Listen, if being irresponsible can land you the life I have, guys, be more irresponsible. Not saying you should want my life, but I have the dream life that I would want. So if being that kind of irresponsible can get you there, be that kind of irresponsible so that you can step into that dream life that you really want. Because Yah has a way to get you there that you can't see. And you've got this long behind route that you've got planned to retirement to get there. And Yah is like, all you gotta do is this, and this, girl. Or like your road, the thing goes all the way around, right? And then you're like, Yah's like, if you go do, boop, boop. Like, you don't know. You don't know what the path looks like. Or you think the short path because you figured out that it's the shortest route. And Yah's like, yeah, but if you go this way, you're not going to meet any of the people that are supposed to be with you when you get there. Then you're going to get there, you're going to be lonely for 7 months. I don't want you to be lonely for 7 months. I want you to go this long way so that you can make these appointments. So then at month 7, all of you that are on your way there get there. You want to hurry up and run and get there. Then you're going to run and get there. You're going to be bored for 7 months. You're going to leave at month 7. And month 8, everybody that you were supposed to meet is going to show up. And you're going to be talking crazy. And Yah is gracious with us, and he be trying, y'all. He be trying. So he'll still save the day for us. He'll still give us back all the stuff we lose and all this. But I'm going to tell you, your cloud of witnesses, the ancestors, the angels in them are like, okay. Again, let's try it again. That's them. And you know you can hear your granny voice telling you, you better leave that man. Or don't you leave that man, girl. He's having a hard time right now. He don't mean to be that mean. Don't you leave that man. That's a good man. I told you that was a good man. You can hear your granny voice. But he done got on your nerves and your ratchet friends and your jealous family members and whoever else. And your feelings, and you reading stuff online that tells you what a man do and what a man don't do, and your man do all the stuff on the don't do list, and he don't do none of the stuff on the do list. And you know you can hear your granny voice tell you don't leave that man, but you leave him. Listen, I don't know, guys. Your plans are an idol. Cast them down. Nothing that you set down for Yah that's good for you or that you're supposed to have, you don't ever set it down for long. You only usually set it down long enough to go do something else. So and then it like will come back. It will come back sooner or later. If it's for you, it will manifest. It's a faith walk, guys. What that means is you're going to keep walking and stay on the path by faith. Okay? Now, please don't be one of those people that mistakes me to be saying that faith is the opposite of reason and planning and all of that. No, 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 no. Faith is not this thing that people think we believe in some unproven thing. Faith is believing in a proven thing. When you sit on your chair, you plop down on your couch, it's because you have faith in your couch. Why? Because it doesn't ordinarily disintegrate before you plop down. And so you have every confidence and faith in the couch that it will not disintegrate today when you plop down on it. You have faith in the couch. Not because of what you don't know about the couch, but because of what you do. Okay? And so if we follow Yah by faith, what that means is we don't hesitate before we risk our tailbone and plop down all hard. We don't even hesitate. Why? Because we know that Yah is faithful. We don't hesitate to give up something financial because we know that if Yah needs us to be poor, it's because there's some poor folks we're supposed to be around. And if Yah needs us to be rich, it's because there's some rich folks we're supposed to be around. And it don't matter to us either way. You have to come into this. Guys, there's no way around this. These are the end times. We can't keep playing these games. There's a way to do it. There's a way. There is a way. It's called the way. We weren't called a religion. Our faith wasn't even called a faith. It was called the way. There is a way that is the way, and the way is Yahweh. So y'all better stop playing. 47 minutes. Sorry, I know it's a little long. I said I was going to try to keep them between 15 and 30, but I don't know. I love y'all. I hope this blessed somebody. Y'all reigns here, y'all. Peace out. Oh, if you want to get out and you don't know where to get out to, you don't know how, and this and that and that and this, listen, if you can get to Belize and you don't mind eating modest, because we're going to feed you. We ain't going to eat steak every night. We're going to eat steak some nights, and some nights we're going to, eat grilled cheese sandwiches, okay, and stuff. So, but if you can get here and you'll put your hand to plow in one way or another, just get out, guys. Get to safety. Get to safety. Yah tells us to get to the hills. And what, coincidentally, as if there is such a thing, we literally call where our place is the hills. Like they called it the hills, the family, my husband's family, they've called it the hills. And so it's just really beautiful to me that they call it the hills, and then Yah is like, this will be a city of refuge. This will bring my people here. And so when I say to you guys, get to the hills, you can literally come to the hills where we, can offer you refuge, or get to the hills anywhere. First of all, there's two things that you want to do. You want to go up, up. Go up into the mountains as high as you can go, The problem with doing that stateside is it's cold up in the mountains. Okay, so the upper you go like you're supposed to, the more work you're going to have to do to prepare, because you got to deal with winter, and that's a whole hot mess, right? But go up. You want to be where trees far outnumber people, in particular where trees cover you. If you can be where there's a cover of trees, you want to be there. Do not be the person that buys a piece of land with a bunch of trees on it, enough that you can literally live your life under the trees, build a little house under the trees, and start cutting down the trees. Don't do that. Your trees are going to protect you from a lot of stuff. I know that sounds crazy, but they work on a lot of levels. Trees do, okay? They are a hugely important part of this created system, and you need to take refuge under there, okay? So anyway, I love you guys. Bless up Israel.